Dakota.
Yield to the gentleman from North Dakota.
Thank you, Mr. Hur. In Chapter 8 of your book, or your report, you detail that Mr. Biden retained in his Delaware basement classified documents relating back to his time as a U.S. Senator in the 70s, correct?
Correct.
And even more Senate papers dating back to the 70s through 1991 were found in the University of Delaware, Morris Libraries, and in the Biden Senate Papers collection, correct?
Correct.
And even more Senate papers dating back to the 1970s and 1980s were found in Biden's Delaware garage.
I believe yes, that's correct.
And quote, Mr. Biden had nearly 50 years experience dealing with classified information, including as a member of the Senate Select Committee on Intelligence, a member and chairman of the Senate Committee on Judiciary, a member and chairman of the Senate Committee on Foreign Relations, and Vice President of the United States. And that he was deeply familiar with the measures taken to safeguard classified information and the reasons for them, correct?
That language certainly sounds familiar, Congressman, but if you have a page citation for me, I can confirm.
And as Vice President, is it correct that in 2011, Mr. Biden received advice from his staff about the need to secure classified information in the form of notes?
Correct.
Including his first counsel, Cynthia Hogan?
Correct.
And he was advised in writing in 2011 by Hogan that classified notes must be obtained in secure safes and stored in secure facility.
Correct.
His second counsel, John McGail, also advised Biden that all of Mr. Biden's records, including his notes, would be sent to the National Archives, and Biden understood and accepted that, correct?
That's correct, with the exception that Mr. McGrail was Vice President Biden's final counsel, not his second one.
All right. And on his way out, Mr. Biden was also appraised of his obligations by the National Archives staff twice more that his classified notes should be secured in a SCIF.
That particular fact is not immediately coming to mind, Congressman, but if you have a page citation, I can confirm it for you.
Well, did Mr. Biden have 30 years experience handling this information? He received advice from at least two separate counsels, the National Archives staff. He has demonstrated enough knowledge of the law to attack President Trump in public over the same exact issue in detail. This is where I get into this. I just have a problem with this. In your report, and this testimony, a reasonable person would conclude that Mr. Biden knowingly retained national defense information and failed to deliver it to an appropriate government official, and that he knew his conduct was unlawful. And I think that's where we end up here, and that's what the point is. Over the last 3 election cycles, there's only been 3 people who have ran for president: Hillary Clinton, Joe Biden, Donald Trump. All 3 of them have been accused of mishandling classified documents. Only one of them has been prosecuted. And that's what the American people see. That's what we see. We had Hillary Clinton, who ran a program called Bleach It on her server. They used hammers to destroy evidence. Joe Biden has a 50-year history of misplacing classified documents in numerous different places. All of these cases have the same underlying elements of the crime, the same fact patterns, and yet we only see one person being prosecuted. And with that, I yield back to the gentleman from Kentucky.
When time's expired, I yield back.
Gentleman yields back. The ranking member is recognized for unanimous consent.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Mr.